So good morning, everyone. This morning I want to talk about time. We really don't talk about it much. We just it's there, we take it for granted, it marches on. But it does have a role in our practice, and it had a role in the Buddhist teaching, and I want to try to make a case for that today. So the poet Delmore Schwartz wrote a poem some years ago called Calmly We Walk Through This April's Day. I really like it, and his name is Schwartz. Calmly we walk through this April's Day. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but if you want to look it up. But the quote that I pulled from it, which has always resonated with me, is, quote, "Time is the school in which we learn. Time is the fire in which we burn. Time is the school in which we learn. Time is the fire in which we burn." And I find that quote really evocative because it really resonates with our understanding of impermanence, of suffering, and opportunities for greater freedom in our lives. Because I think his words really capture an essential truth about life and the role of time in our lives. Because time can be both a teacher and a test. It can be both a refuge and a reckoning. And from a Buddhist perspective, time, as the Buddha talked about it and as it's woven through his teachings and his writings and attributed to him, well, not writings, but teachings. It's not merely a backdrop to our lives. It's just infused with our path and with our practice. It's the medium through which we confront the realities of existence, how we grow. It's a medium through which we grow in understanding, and it helps us either transcend suffering, or it can cause us to perpetuate our suffering. In Buddhism, life is often likened to this metaphorical journey that the Buddha calls samsara, this endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth in Buddhist mythology. But this is not an aimless journey. It's an opportunity of knowing about birth, knowing about death, for growth, learning, and awakening. Time, if we understand it as the unfolding moment to moment, serves as the school in which we learn the truths of existence. Okay, it is the thing that holds that. The Buddha taught our Four Noble Truths as the framework for this learning, this time-focused learning. So we go from reality of suffering to its cause, to its cessation, and to the path leading to freedom in the Four Noble Truths. So time teaches us the lessons of impermanence. It is the thing that sort of imposes impermanence on us, if you will. As we witness the changing of the seasons, which is time, obviously, as we look at the aging of our bodies, which is driven by time, passing of loved ones, on, we begin to understand that clinging to what is temporary, and that's a time-based phenomenon, inevitably leads to suffering. Clinging to what is temporary inevitably leads to suffering. And this realization is very important to our path in inspiring us to live fully in the present moment. Don't waste a minute of it. Time is a precious commodity. It is not forever. So do not waste it. Live in the moment, savor the moment, seize the moment. And we do this rather than grasping at what can't be held, clinging, chasing after things that are impermanent. Each moment of time becomes an opportunity to practice our mindfulness, to practice our compassion, to practice our wisdom, to practice our present moment awareness, all qualities that lead to greater freedom. In addition, time teaches us about interdependence. Each moment arises due to causes and conditions in the past. And each moment in turn gives rise to new causes and conditions. It's a constant flow. It's a never-ending cycle. And when we recognize this, the interconnectedness of everything, causes and conditions from the past, new causes and conditions arising, we learn that our thoughts, our words, and our actions have consequences, not just for ourselves, but for others, not just for ourselves, but for the world. Think about the environment. Our choices have had consequences for what's going on with the planet. And this understanding encourages us to live ethically, or at least to set an intention to live as ethically as we can, to cultivate loving kindness, and to make skillful choices in the world. Now let me be clear, time offers opportunity for learning and growth, but it also brings challenges. It also brings suffering. And from a Buddhist perspective, the fire, in the quote from the poem, in which we burn, that Schwartz alluded to in the poem, the fire in which we burn arises from the three poisons: greed, hatred, and delusion, greed, hatred, and ignorance. Because these mental states are the source of so much of our suffering. We chase after fleeting pleasures, which is the greed. We resist the inevitable, the aversion, the hatred, and we fail to see reality as it is, which is the ignorance. So much, if not most, suffering derives from the three poisons. The fire of time that Schwartz talks about is most evident, I think, in the suffering caused by our clinging and attachment. We become attached to people, possessions, experiences, on, thinking they are the source of lasting happiness. That's where we think we're going to find it. But they're all impermanent, and they inevitably lead to disappointment, loss, and pain. And we just keep on that treadmill, Time burns away everything we hold dear. Time burns away everything we hold dear. It reveals the futility of grasping at that which is transient, at that which is fleeting. Now, that said, the fire of time can also be a catalyst for transformation. Because just as fire can purify metal by burning away impurities, the challenges and suffering we face are teachers in our lives. They refine us, they strengthen us, they broaden our perspective. Because when we confront loss, when we confront illness, when we confront failure, we are given an opportunity to deepen our resilience, deepen our compassion for self and others. So these moments of burning awaken us to the deeper truths of existence. But we have to let them. We don't push them away or run from them. They inspire us to seek liberation. Think about, I love the metaphor here, the rejuvenation of a forest after a devastating forest fire. It's a really miraculous thing to behold. The thing looks like scorched earth, which it is. And then within weeks, if not months, here comes the new green. And this is a natural process in nature, which reminds us of how rebirth, if you will, can come from the burning. So Buddhism offers us a path to navigate this dual nature of time as a teacher on the one hand and a tormentor, a source of suffering on the other. But the Eightfold Path is our roadmap, giving guidance to how we live skillfully in the face of this impermanence, in the face of the suffering that we encounter. When we cultivate right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, we learn from the lessons of time without being consumed by the fires. And our mindfulness practice in particular is a powerful tool for balancing the learning and burning aspects of time. We see clearly which it is, and then we take proper, skillful action in response to what it is. We become fully present with each moment. We observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. And this allows us to respond to the challenges, to the fires, with equanimity. Not with reactivity out of habit, not with reactivity out of fear, but with a clear perspective which allows us to respond skillfully. In this way, we can use the fire of time not to burn ourselves, but to illuminate the path to greater freedom. It's like carrying a torch. We're not burnt. It's lighting the way. Buddhism points us to a place beyond time, beyond learning and burning, which is the cessation or the reduction of suffering that he promised. This is not a place or a moment in time. It transcends that. It is a realization of what he called the unconditioned, the timeless reality that lies beyond these illusions of self, these illusions of a separate self. And if and until we reach some of that and tap into some of that and experience it, we are just students in the school of time. We just learn from the lessons, we endure the fires, we just keep moving ahead. Yet even within the constraints of time, we're not a prisoner there. We experience moments of freedom and peace. We live mindfully. We practice compassion. We let go of attachment. We transform our relationship with time. We move closer to greater freedom. As Schwartz said, time is the school in which we learn. Time is the fire in which we burn. This is the dual nature of time, opportunity for growth on the one hand and a source of suffering to be managed on the other. The key to navigating this paradox lies in our mindfulness, our increased awareness, and the cultivation of wisdom and compassion. When we embrace the lessons of impermanence, this is so fundamental to this path and to our freedom. When we embrace the lessons of interdependence, we use the fire, as I said, like a torch to illuminate the path to greater freedom. That's the gift of the fire, but we have to avail ourselves of it. As we journey through the school we call life, we realize that the true nature of time, it's inevitable, and it is not something to be feared or wring our hands about. It is a mirror that reflects the timeless truth of our own potential if we allow it to happen, if we partake of it. So those are some thoughts this morning on how calmly we walk through this April's day. Time is the school and time is the fire.